I got this video that we can take a little look at. Okay, that's Kash Patel, our FBI director. Okay.
There's a lot to unpack here. It is a big, huge case. And joining us right now, we have MSNBC investigative correspondent Mark Santia. We have MSNBC legal correspondent Lisa Rubin, and also sports wrap host Jason Page.
Listen to this shit.
This is like something out of, some illegal gambling film or a Sopranos episode. I mean,
it's definitely a movie. It's definitely a movie.
So give me a sense, Mark, of just what jumps out to you about this. Is it the enormity? Is it the money?
It's all of it, Alex. Alex, it's all of it. It's huge names in the NBA. It's the extent, some of the technology, Alex, they're talking about was incredible and millions of dollars. I mean, when you talk about the NBA, you're talking about Terry Rozier, who's had a great career, currently playing with the Miami Heat, had some great years with Boston. You're also talking about Chauncey Billups, who's the head coach of the Portland Trail Blazers.
Respected.
Billups played for the Knicks. Billups won championships in Detroit.
If you're curious, Billups was the MVP of the 2004 Detroit team. Like, this dude is a legit player. This is a Hall of Famer. You know what I mean? He ain't Michael Jordan, but you want him on your team because this motherfucker, when he get hot, he was hot, you know?
He was a finals MVP in 2004.
Yeah.
So you're talking about some of the biggest names in the game. And then you're talking about, in the one case, you're talking about these are two separate investigations. There's some overlap. But you talk about that poker investigation, illegal poker. So they would find, quote unquote, victims called fish. And they would lure these fish in, according to the feds. They would lure them in with the opportunity to play next to some big names, including Chauncey Billups. And then, Alex, you're talking about the technology. They had shufflers, like card shufflers. You are talking about special glasses, and then something I've never heard about, an X-ray table.
So they could place the
That's
card
insane.
face down and still be able to zero in on that.
There was no way you could win. There's no way.
You're looking at it right here.
That's a dangerous game.
Your card is face down, but everybody's in on it except for the fish, the victim, and they can see what card the fish has. And again, it's all about sort of, according to the feds, bilking these unsuspecting poker players in these games to the tune of millions of dollars. And then when people wouldn't pay up, you would see organized crime, according to police, organized crime come in and muscle some of those victims to paying up. This is a massive two massive investigations out.
Arrests from all over the country. We had them in Miami today. We had them in Portland. We had them in Las Vegas. I mean, it really spans the breadth of all 50 states, most likely. So, Lisa, let me ask you about your takeaway on this, the big highlights for you, and what you think went into this kind of a sting operation. I mean, how elaborate was it behind the scenes trying to bring these people to justice, or at least place the arrests?
Well, let me say a couple of my highlights. One is the statement that the NBA has been fully cooperative in the investigation, and I suspect that the league and its commissioner, Adam Silver, will have something to say about that and the extent of its cooperation in this. The other thing that struck me, though, Alex, was from Commissioner Jess Tisch of the NYPD, who really was more descriptive, I think, in her comments about what they discovered in the particular evidence than anybody else was, but went out of her way to talk about what kinds of resources multiple law enforcement agencies can marshal when they work together collaboratively.
They're probably searching for this for a long time.
This was a joint investigation of the NYPD, the FBI. There is a task force involving organized crime that got involved here. And of course, this all comes back to the Eastern District of New York, which is the charging office here. But I think we'll hear more in the days to come about the level of cooperation between law enforcement agencies and even the involvement of FBI field offices and U.S. attorneys' offices from around the country, because as they noted, there were games that were played all over the country. There are arrests being made this morning, and people who will be arraigned or make their initial appearances in courts as far-ranging as Portland and Las Vegas, and I believe also in Florida. But the final thing that really struck me is the detail about Terry Rozier with respect
Listen to this shit, this dumb shit.
Sports throwing conspiracy, right? And the allegation, and Mark can correct me if I'm wrong, is that they bet collectively more than $200,000 at a point in time where they had inside information about Terry Rozier's injury, and therefore they knew,
lack thereof.
right? And they took the under on him to the tune of thousands of dollars of profits, which the group then gathered together to count. So the combination, and Jessica Tisch mentioned this, the combination of sort of old school mob tactics straight out of a Sopranos episode, and there is a Sopranos episode that sort of is like this, where you have ordinary people who want to be in on a big wheel card game, and they have Frank Sinatra Jr., for example, sitting at the table to make it look both impressive and legit. That's the role that the feds are now alleging Chauncey Billups played in some of these card games. Right? But the combination of that with all of this newfangled technology, whether it's the fact that they money laundered through crypto investments, or the fact that they had the X-ray table, the card counting machine, the barcodes on their cards, the combination of the two is what distinguishes this from David Chase's fantasies 20 plus years ago.
Jason, I'm going to get to you in a second on sort of the fallout for the NBA with this, but let me just ask you, the fact that there are crime families, mob families involved
tied in referees.
It's not surprising given the topic, given gambling, of course, but how does it complicate the processing or the kind of case?
Hey, thank you for subscribing, man. I still got to figure out how to find who subscribed when.
Is more difficult when you're talking about people who belong to organized crime. They are notoriously difficult to investigate and prosecute, given the consequences for people who are members of organized crime families. And so I will be really interested in the days to come to learn whether there are confidential informants, whether they come from the victim.
Oh shit, hold on. But guess what? Chauncey need to flip right now. Dude, he got flip early. He got a snitch on the mob.
Yeah. Victim side, meaning the people who are unsuspecting marks.
When it's this big, you got a snitch.
Whether they come from the actual sports enterprises themselves. They mentioned the sports betting books that may have been one of the victims here, right? The market for gambling and legal gambling at that may have also been victimized. But then, of course, they may have had someone on the inside come forward, and the danger to that person in doing so, that person's whereabouts, those people's whereabouts, if there are multiples of them, we have not yet seen the indictments. I know that during the press conference, the FBI and the U.S. Attorney's Office was referring to their unsealing. As we sit here, one of the reasons I have my computer in front of me is I keep trying to refresh those electronic dockets. They have not been formally unsealed for those of us who are not yet sitting in the room. When we see them, it may be clearer to us whether or not there are confidential informants who participated in this investigation, Alex.
So, Jason, give me a sense of just the fallout, the effect on the NBA for this first indictment. How extensive you think it is? You heard Kash Patel, the FBI director, saying this was going to be...
Anyway, I mean, we ain't got to watch that whole thing. But, okay, so one of the things that happened is Rozier, right? He's a current player. He goes in the game and he gets an injury, right? Like within a couple. Okay, hold on. Let's back up. Cause these dudes are the dumbest mother effers ever, guys. We live in 2025, right? Not in like 1960 when tech was shit. Okay, so Vegas is looking at this, right? And they realize that a bunch of people bet a bunch of money on this guy all together all of a sudden, right? And then seconds later, the dude's injured and he leaves the game. Okay? So that's that.
Red
There's
flag.
something wrong.
Red
so I think they had formed the NBA. And I think my boy was out for the rest of the season. Some crazy shit, right? But people, these things have patterns, man. Like, we live in the age of AI, where even like, you know, like if I got a bunch of numbers on the screen and everybody betting on Lexi to do some dumb shit, right? And I'm not paying attention because you also got Jordan in the game, you got LeBron over here, you got all these bets going on, right? Maybe me as a human doesn't see that, but the computer's gonna pick up that you have a slew of bets on there, so they know something's going on, right? So you can't hide this shit.
Yeah.
And somehow they let that go. But why would you, as an active NBA player?
What's his contract? How greedy is that?
Yeah, I mean, like, I'm curious to know his contract, like his net. What was his name again? Terry Rozier.
Terry Rozier.
Yeah, like, dude, like, what's up? Okay. Like, you can't do some of this shit. Like, it's just dumb. T-E-R, what's his name? Terry?
Y.
Okay, Rose.
Yeah.
Okay, this is him here. This is him here.
Okay.
But he played for multiple teams. He's with the Miami Heat now.
His salary, $25 million a year, and he needs to do that?
Where's it? Okay, but that could be for more than 1 year. But still, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Because we're not making that. Even if that...
Well, put it in his contract. I want to see what his contract is.
Let's just pull him up on Wikipedia. How about that? Okay.
So stupid.
Yeah, dude, like there's times... Look, at some point you gotta stop doing shit. Bum, 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 bum. Sent to prison, blah, 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 blah. You're gonna join his daddy. College career, professional career, Boston Celtics. Career high 11 points, so he's not like a role player. I mean, like he's not like a star player.
Point guard.
Yeah.
Wait.
Where you see it?
Okay, go back up. It said something about, this was 2019, 3-year, $56.7 million contract.
Okay, you hear that though?
He's making, wait.
Look at it.
4-year, $97
million contract. $97 million contract. Guys, if you make $97 million right now, understand this. Let's just call it $100 million to make this an easy number. Taxes and government and fees can take half of that. Okay? So you're down to 50. And let's lose another 10 or whatever to expenses and shit like that. But dog, you gonna walk away with 40-something million dollars out of this, right? Like, how many people in this chat are gonna make $47 million in 4 years?
None of us.
You know what I mean? Yeah, like, I'm good. Like, I'm just like, there comes a time when you can't do dumb shit.
It's greedy. It's just greedy. I don't understand.
Yeah, dude, this.
It's greedy and it's dangerous because now you're putting your family's lives at risk, your friends' lives at risk.
That motherfucker going to jail. But the crazy part about this, right? Like, okay, like this lesson came to me from the Bahamas, and this makes sense, right? When I was about to graduate from the Bahamian military called the Defense Force, they know that as Defense Force officers, we out there on boats a lot of times, you can run into dudes running drugs.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And the commanding officer did not tell us don't take the money. He phrased it this way. I mean, this can be a very Bahamian fucking way to say this, but then I can translate it. He's like, don't go down for two-tailed crawfish, right? So crawfish is like a lobster. Crawfish is like it's lobster without the claws. Okay, so it's a lobster. However, lobster's expensive, but still, you could afford lobster. You understand what I mean? Like, you're not gonna eat lobster every day, but most of us, if you had to buy a lobster dinner, you could do that. So what he's saying is basically, don't go down for something small.
Yeah.
You know, like a lobster fucking dinner. He was like, if y'all go down, make sure you go down for something big. Like my boy told us this. He's like, listen, if you go down, go down for something big. Do it. This ain't it. Because this just ain't, it ain't worth it. You see what I'm saying? Like you losing $40 freaking million, for the couple of pennies that you're making on this deal. Because with shit like this, it's involved multiple people. And see, here's another shitty thing about this. We talked about this yesterday when we discussed robbing the Louvre, right? Because the Louvre got robbed over the weekend. Okay. And we were saying the problem with a robbery like that is if you do that with 5 people, me, you, Janessa, Shayla, Dana, right? One of y'all got a drug problem and y'all blow all the money. So now you got to go and rob someplace else. And then you get caught. You looking at 50 years and then you turn us in so that you don't have to do time. Yeah. Okay. Do you realize this shit probably had 1 million people involved in all the aspects of this?
Yeah.
You have multiple mob bosses and shit involved in this. You have all these players. You have this, you have that. Dog, that's too much, okay? If I gotta rob a bank and 20 people gonna know about it, I can't rob that bank. There's too many. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
How many more players do you think it's gonna be coming out that they're involved?
I think because of what this is, there are a lot of players who are like, okay, dude, like, I don't want to touch that because you know you're done. This dude will never, ever play an NBA game again. He will never be allowed in the NBA stadium again. He can't even go watch a game. You know what I mean? When he get out of jail or whatever, he's not even gonna be allowed to watch a game. They're so serious about this. He
No
could
Hall
never.
of Fame for them.
He could never. I think Chauncey Billups probably already in the Hall of Fame.
Do
though.
you think they'll take him out?
This happened before that, so it wouldn't be right to take him out because he's a Hall of Fame player. That dude was badass. You know what I mean? But I'm just saying, like, you know, all these NBA players getting arrested. They're gonna yes, there's gonna be some child support checks gone, right? I'm just saying, like, I'm not telling you don't commit crimes. That's too simplistic of you. There might come a time in your life, your family's starving, and you got to steal a loaf of bread to keep your kids alive, okay? So I would never tell you not to steal. But what I'm going to tell you is, if you gotta steal, make sure the shit is worth it. You got dudes who bust in a liquor store with guns drawn, right? Just listen to this shit. You pull up on a liquor store, you got your getaway driver outside. Two of you are rushing there with guns, right? Like, how much money in that liquor store?
Not a lot.
You see what I'm saying?
It's not worth
so
it.
So let's just say you get away with $500. If that. You get away with $500, right? Dog, you just committed armed robbery. You know what I mean?
Just so stupid.
And then the liquor store owner was being, you know, he didn't want you taking because he tired of getting robbed. So he mouthing off one of y'all gun butt the dude, which is now like you see how many charges racked up on this? Mm-hmm. Like for $500, like you gotta ask yourself, is the fucking crime worth it?
No.
You know?
It is not.
Yeah, don't steal shit unless it's worth fucking stealing, man. Go down for something. Like if I go down, I want dudes to find me with the Mona Lisa, okay? I got the Mona Lisa in my bathroom or something stashed, you know what I mean? And then they go, damn, the skyyjohn had the Mona Lisa, okay? Let dudes talk about that shit.
What did they get from the Louvre? They didn't get the Mona Lisa, did
No, they didn't get the Mona Lisa. You can't steal that.
You can't steal
Fuck, there's so many people in front of that shit.
Yeah.
It don't even make sense going to see that because you can't get close.
No, I've been to the Louvre. I was
Everybody
very
was
far
there.
away.
Yeah,
from them.
yeah.
Like, oh, there
Like,
she is.
It's almost impossible to see that shit, you know?
She's not even that pretty.
No, she ain't pretty, you know what I mean? But I mean, look. Back in the day, she was the shit. You have different beauty standards. You understand this, right? You know what I mean? Like you hot in like 2023, right? It's Lexi, you know what I mean? But if I take
What
Lexi,
the fuck are you saying?
If I take Lexi back to 1960, dudes be like, yeah, I don't know, you know?
Fuck off. 2023? What do you mean 2023?
I mean, like that would have been like one of your harder years, right? Okay. So chick was a banger in 2023, right?
You're so stupid.
I'm just saying. Times change. Okay? But 1960 wouldn't have been a good time for you. Chicks was different back then.
You're stupid. It wouldn't have been a good time for you either.
Oh, it would have been a real bad time for me. I would not like to be around in the 60s.
No, worst time for you. With your mouth, please.
Well, time machine. The time machine got to start at like maybe 1980ish, moving forward. You know, like I ain't getting back. All right. Don't be like Sky. Don't steal something you can't sell. Yes, that's another thing. Don't steal something you can't sell.